Welcome to the Rooted and Rising podcast. We are back and we are growing and ready to talk to you guys today. But first and foremost, thank you for joining us. I am Rocky. This is Sienna. And we are Rooted and Rising. And so with that being said, Sienna, how was your weekend?
Good weekend. It was the first sunny weekend actually in a while.
It felt good.
Yeah. So,
Crazy. I just put it on Do Not Disturb.
You never know. Would you have to get the call?
That was a 2-call issue.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I knew.
Okay.
Our weekend.
First
First sunny weekend. And I feel like we both had a good weekend as far as, stuff we needed to get done. What did we do this weekend? Not myself, just me. We put together a shed that I needed to get done because I really I'm noticing little things that are kind of accumulating in the garage, organizing. And so I want to get some tools and stuff out and then put them in the shed. Nothing crazy. I don't have like a lot of stuff. And then just utilize one side of the garage for workout things. So I'm excited.
So your lawnmower and your pressure washer going to the back?
They already did.
Oh, wow.
They did. Everything was done yesterday.
So you already have almost pretty much the garage gym almost in the making now.
And that's what I'm doing today, this afternoon. I'm going to go work out in the garage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm excited. But that's what we did. It was actually really nice just because it was a pretty day. Dog was outside. Poor Mila. She doesn't get enough outside time.
Yeah, she's working that tan.
Yeah. But that's what I did. It was just getting stuff done for me.
That's awesome.
Y'all, what did you do?
Well, it's rodeo time in Houston, so got my boots on. Went to the cook-off. I actually, I had to go to the cook-off. I feel like I had to because one of our big clients has the tent, and I want to keep that client. I want to keep him around, let him know I'm here, let him know.
Yeah.
I support him in everything he does because he comes with a lot of clients as well. He brings
the connections.
Exactly. And so got to keep my network good.
Yeah.
You got to keep watering my plants that I have, my network that I have. And that's actually the topic of today, our network and being intentional with our, with our relationships.
The art of networking. And it's funny because I feel like you and I, that's why I think this topic is so good for us because we do our own type of networking. And it's not always been just business, like for a job or a company. It's within our own selves.
Yep.
Our personal connections, the people we talk to randomly at a gas station, like who knows? And it's crazy the people that you can meet just by opening up conversation.
Yep. Literally.
You never know what's going to come from a simple 2-minute conversation or, because we're all different. We all have something to offer.
Everybody, literally, you can learn anything from anybody. You got to be open to it, though.
It's so humbling. Agreed. You do have to be open to it because sometimes I might not seem approachable. As far as you're in a tunnel vision, right? You're trying to get to a meeting, you're trying to get to work or whatever it is. You got something to pick up, and so sometimes it's like being present and realizing like where you are, just being in the moment.
I was at the grocery store yesterday and I saw somebody that I know, and I saw they saw me, and I was gonna go up to them. They turned real fast, and I was like, oh, they don't want to be talked to right now. Let me just let them slide.
Yeah. Don't take it personal.
Yeah, I didn't take it.
Exactly. Because that's how sometimes with all the people that we know, sometimes I'm like, dang it, I don't want to be seen, or I realize where I'm at. HEB being one of them.
That's
your community. It's your community, right? You build that up. It takes time, I will say. And people can have a conversation with me and they've assumed that, oh man, you've always just spoken really well. Funny, can I tell you a funny story? First job was HEB. Okay, I was a bagger. And I got my first job at 18 because I was in sports and it just took up a lot of my time. Started in Corpus because that's where, I'm from. Moved over to Houston, went to college, was still a bagger. So 18, 19 years old, going to school, community college. Did you know I did not want to be a cashier?
Really?
Absolutely not. Being in front of someone, what do you say? what do you talk about? Genuine, like it was very intimidating to me. And we'll call him a mentor at the time because he was a manager, like one of the bigger managers in the HEB like service department. And for years he kept, I think I didn't become a cashier till I was like 21, 22 years
You waited
old.
a while.
I waited a very long time because I knew it's not what I wanted to do. At the time, I've always been someone to work multiple jobs. So like I was, a freaking server at one point and doing HEB. HEB was awesome because they worked with your schedule, okay? Especially being a college student. I recommend, if you have no job experience, always try HEB because it'll help you grow. And with him, what he did was he put me in that fire. He was like, his name was John. He pulled me aside one day. He was like, hey, you should probably become a cashier. It's time. And I'm like, no, it's not.
You're well past the age.
Yeah, right. You get a pay raise and everything. And so then and I let him know how I felt. When he knew and he sat me down and listened to how I felt, he heard me. That's where I was like, you know what? Maybe it planted that seed that I was like, maybe one day, but not yet. So then months go by. He gets a red basket, at HEB, puts some items, just small, like probably like 5 or 6 items. The hardest part is produce. How do you remember all those PLU codes or whatever from the produce? And so he put a couple of the hard ones in there for me. He pulled me aside. We went to a smaller register that wasn't opened for anyone yet. And he was a customer. He put me behind the cash register, and I practiced. And so ever since then, I was like, oh, like I can actually do this. Went to the school because you have to go to school for a couple weeks or whatever. And I'm not going to lie, that was the root to opening up on how to react to different personalities. You're a customer in line. You have a lot going on in your life. Why are we at HEB? Is it a quick? Are we just trying to get in and out? Is someone in front of you taking forever and they're just grand old time? They got nowhere to be, but you're in a rush. You deal with people with different personalities, right? They got they're stressed. Family members at the hospital, they're getting lunch for them really quick, right? So that is what taught me how to react and how to adapt to the different personalities that I'm being dealt with. And it's really was just kill them with kindness, but in a genuine way. And they can feed off of you. You'll switch them up real quickly just by showing them, hey, like, how are you today? You asked me how I was today before we started today. It's like, whoa, that like, I took a step back and I was like, wait, how am I today? Like, let me open up for a second. So that's just kind of the intentions changed and taught me a lot. And that's how I ended up becoming better with how to network.
Yeah, I mean, well.
Sorry, I did random story, but I was like, that's the root of where I am today.
Hearing you speak, it reminded me of, I would say, so my first job was HEB as a bagger. I lasted like 2 weeks. I was like, I'm not bagging this stuff. I'm out of here. And I left. I was like, I'm going. So I wasn't going to not have a job, but go to Starbucks. Okay. Got a job at Starbucks, and that actually helped me with my networking because in the training, it was some of the stuff was like, hey, you're the first person this person's gonna see in the day when they come in the morning. You're the first person. Put a smile on. You start their day off.
Exactly. Yeah. And
so it had caught me having to push myself to be happy and jolly and everything is okay. And it ended up like I made relationships from there. I remember I had regulars like, hey, how you doing? How's this? How's your test? Did you do good? It was things like that. And that opened me up. I think that's how I started my networking skills. If I really truly think about it, it was
what you're capable of and how you even speak.
Yes.
Because how honestly, really, when you're going to school and when we're younger, we're not really put in a lot of scenarios where we have to speak necessarily. I was going to school with my head down on a mission. You know what I mean? And so with that, you're right. I started noticing what a simple act of kindness, a simple gesture, anything small can really impact someone's day. And so that's just, again, the root cause that I realized what I was capable of giving. And I think that's what comes with your networking is you can't always right away, right off the bat, in any business relationship, in a friendship, you're not asking to be given these things. You're giving. And I think it's important to understand the difference is giving whatever it's going to be. I don't know. Just don't expect to receive right off the bat. And I think that's what builds a relationship, a solid, trustworthy foundation in a relationship.
Yeah, you
can't expect.
you can't literally go to somebody, hey, I know you do this, I need this done.
Right.
It's not really.
Yeah. And it's like, how do you, whenever your elevator pitch for whatever business you're in, you give a pitch. And I do believe there's a difference between when it comes to sales, right? You do eventually need to ask for the business. But truly, when you're not asking for the business day one, first impressions, that's the first thing. First impression, what's your impression of each other? How did you know what I mean? Sometimes first impressions can really
first impression
be negative.
Is the last impression.
It really is. You go home with that on what you saw someone to be or what they saw you to be. And again, they can catch you on a bad day. So it's like, dang, just realizing who you're talking to.
Yeah, so I was the vice president of my school's organization. I started this organization at the school, founding member, and I think we had a meeting probably, we had a few meetings a month, but at least one of those meetings all the time was elevator pitch. Shaking hands and elevator pitch. Because everyone's trying to get a job in the corporate world. So what you're trying to do is shake their hand firmly, look them in the eye, and then give them a quick 30 seconds of who you are.
Yeah.
Who are you? And wrap up your resume in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what I learned the elevator pitch to be. And I don't want to do that now. Like, I'm not going to go to somebody and tell them but you got to have, I think for one thing, you always got to know who you are. Who you actually are. Don't say what you do.
Yeah.
Who you are. And knowing who you are, and you take that person, you give that person your actual self, that builds a real relationship, an authentic relationship for one. And you should never be wanting just to make a relationship just to get something for somebody.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. You're not gonna make it. That's a selfish person.
Yeah.
And no one wants to be around that.
Yeah, and they can feel it right off the bat.
Yep.
I can tell too, and I'm like, let me reanalyze this, right? Or let's have a conversation. Once you establish a business relationship, you can kind of have those conversations now because we're past that. We're past the first steps. But yeah, dang. I have a question for you. So you said Starbucks kind of helped, you become who you are, like really. So now with the business that you do, how long would you say you've been like the connector? Because I know you have a guy for something in all, like any field. I kind of know, like, hey, Rocky, who can I use this to mow the lawn if I decide to ever one day stop mowing? Like, you genuinely, like, you would be the person that I would reach out to. And I've always tried to be the same because I want to add value, right, to the people that trust me. So,
honestly,
have you always been that way? Like, what made you be? So many questions. Sorry.
No, it's a great question. So I worked at a gym. So Starbucks things happen. I worked at a gym. And that's one where we all met at. And I ran it. I pretty much was. And so I saw the members and I talked to all the members. The gym was different because it was more of like a local, actually authentic relationship being built there. I mean, we're still connected with people from there.
Yep. It was not a franchise type of deal.
So I knew everybody there. I knew their families. I knew things so I would ask them questions. How are you doing? This and that. And then I found out, oh, you do that? That's so cool. And I go talk to somebody else. I'm talking to them and they tell me their problems. I'm like, I need to go see someone like this. Like, oh, so-and-so does that. And I just started like connecting those dots and then realizing I have an art, like I think a year later, I feel like, oh, I know someone who does this and that. And oh my goodness, I can make a movie. I can have a person who does all this stuff. It was like things like, oh, I can get this done. I can do this and this. And then my mother was the same way. She had a guy for everything. She knows everybody. And so it just like, I didn't realize it, but slowly I built my own catalog, my own Rolodex of people that I know who had things that they did, and I made authentic relationships with them. I can still call them right now. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And I don't need anything from them. Yeah. But I know they do it, and I'd ask him, I'll pay him, but and I return if I can. I'd return the favor. They know I would. Absolutely. And so people ended up calling me, hey, do you know a guy for this? You know a guy? I actually do. Let me call him. Let me see. And then I just became that guy. I actually started a business for just middlemaning. Okay. Like a contractor, but I don't want to be a contractor. But no, you do know how to word things. Yeah. But it was going to be like an Angie's List type of thing where I know a guy who does that and have him on my app. Like I certified, this guy does that. And they're all real people who are going to do right for you and by you. And it's funny that you said that because even for me, now that we're getting older and we're having birthdays and like all these holiday parties,
it's always an event because we're just a big family, lots, good friends, as in when it comes to those vendors that we need, who's going to do the cake?
I know
who's
the cake guy.
Do the cookies?
I got the charcuterie board
who's
guy.
Who's going to do
the photo booth? I got the photo booth guy.
So I'm realizing with our gatherings, or even like other people that we know of, it's really like a family oriented vendor type of group, because again, we are building our own brand when it comes to people trust us with, hey, I know a guy. And I think that's so important with everything that you're doing with whatever business that you're in, because it's just important. It's what morals, your ethics, kind of,
We're planning a wedding
who
right
you
now.
are. Yeah.
We're planning a wedding right now. I got the guy who's going to marry. I knew a guy who could marry us. I knew a guy who could DJ. I knew a guy who could make the cake. Only I didn't have a guy for was actual venue.
No kidding.
Yeah.
We sure did go look at a few. That was a fun time, though.
But yeah, it's,
lo and behold, maybe 10 years from now, you're going to have a venue. Who knows? But that's the point.
Like my daughter's first birthday, everybody I knew who did something was a part of it. Like I made sure that my people did this. Like I didn't want to outsource nobody.
Right. Yeah. But I can imagine 10 years from now, though, and the more people that we know, it's just supporting one another's businesses.
Exactly.
It's truly you're just building a foundation.
Why would I go to Tiff Street if I got a guy who makes cookies already?
Absolutely.
I want to do
local.
that. It's my people.
Absolutely.
I want them to support me. So how could I expect them to support me if I don't support them?
Yeah.
And so
small businesses aspect. So it's funny because bringing up obviously networking in small businesses, since we brought that up, something I have tried to instill in who I am and what I have to offer is networking is important for me in general. No matter what I'm doing for a career, it's at the end of the day, it's me, right? People know me, know Sienna for Sienna. They know Rocky for Rocky and what you have to offer as a human being. And so I try to utilize that when it comes to the things I like to do. Whether it be working out, running, the coffee shops that I go to, the restaurants that I go to. When I have time and I'm not meeting, when I need to eat, I'll go sit at my same couple restaurants, local restaurants, by myself on the computer. I'll bring the computer or whatever, do some work. And I'm intentional with who I'm talking to. I'm intentional with who my server is. I want to be very kind. I want them to remember who I am. And sometimes I even go as far as, who's the manager? Like, I would love to, y'all did good on this. I'll compliment with a presentation towards the food or something that really like wowed me. And I want to be kind back. They deserve to be given that, hey, good job there, pat on the back, right? And so I'm building those relationships because now in the future, when I want to have an event of some sort, I did a food drive in November, first food drive ever. Super intimidating to do and actually put together, to be honest, because I didn't want to fail. Even though I don't know why I question that, because either way I can be given 10 canned goods and we're still winning. We're still giving it back to an organization, right? All the vendors that I got, I personally went to these shops. I personally got the protein shakes. I got the food from them. High Rocks was a part of it. Mercedes was a part of it. And because I supported my gym, Brainiac Gym, we had it there because it's a free venue. Obviously, it's a win-win. They get more exposure, and they just provide us with the parking, with everything. We also did a free workout. Like, hey, come give some canned goods and get a free workout in. But that's the point, is we're just all supporting each other. And so that's why if you can kind of figure out what you enjoy to do, where you like to go, you can utilize that and build more relationships. That's just kind of that. I realized that last year. It took me a while, but I'm like, oh, man, see, I can talk about this all day because there's a master to it. Use who you are. So use who you are to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? We're all different. We all like different things. You could like art. You could like to paint. I don't know how to do that. You know what I mean? Sometimes you connect with someone like, hey, can we do that for a meeting? I got into running recently, right? People started to notice that. Lenders, realtors, investors, like all in my industry, they want to go for a run to meet. They want to go for let's go to Memorial Park.
Who you are.
Yeah. But now it becomes an accountability thing because they trust me, because they've seen me walk the walk. You know what I mean? That it's like I have the experience and I want to just give them my knowledge. I'm not expecting business back. It's deeper. I want to, whenever we go on that run, what are we talking about?
Authentic relationship.
Very organic relationships. It's just, I'm very passionate about it. And I think I want to keep growing, when it comes to digging deeper and building my core relationships. So I don't know, you got me there. That's why I was like, we have to talk about networking and how we could master it. There's no specific way though.
How do you?
Uh-oh.
So what I'm hearing, you're like to be present. So how are you so present in every single conversation? Like, you're listening to these people, literally.
I think it's very important to have eye contact. You can tell when someone is somewhere else. You can tell that their phone is on the table, or maybe it's vibrating in their pocket. You can tell that they're just not aware and there. I think no matter, it's being consistent, noticing that they're not present, but me being present. I'm giving my energy and my time. And when they start seeing that, it's going to be given back. A majority of the time, maybe you might but you'll realize it whenever they don't give it back to you. And then, do you really want to invest in that relationship? Do you want that business partnership when they're not paying attention to you? And so that's just kind of what I want to be given back, the same thing. Do you know what I mean? So when it comes to business, I want to give you my time, my energy, because that's a lot. Like sales and networking is really a lot, to be honest. And because it takes a lot out of you emotionally, I guess you could say. Is it because I'm female? I don't know. But I'm by myself a majority of the time, and then I'm in my own thoughts all day. And then I'm now giving someone my time to have a conversation with. I want to grow from each other. And so I feel like if I give that eye contact and I'm intentional, they're going to feed off of it. And then you just grow from there. So.
It's not, sales is not a natural thing. It's very tough. It's not something that just comes. You got to be willing to be rejected. You got to be willing to be told no.
Yeah.
All these things.
It's hard out there.
It's very difficult to have that. To try to network, knowing that
it's
there
not
may
always
be a
gonna
no.
Yes. Yeah. And then again, back to the consistency. Keep trying, and then following up.
That's where you get them.
Follow up.
So that is actually very key.
I have noticed I have missed a few relationships with just, I don't know, being in this industry for 4 years, where I'm like, damn it. They got them because you can just tell they went to those 4 extra networking events. You know what I mean? And so it's like, sometimes you do get outworked, but I think if you follow up and you're intentional, you remember you had let's just say you had a business meeting, you're talking about their daughter's birthday. They had a birthday coming up or something, a birthday party. If you remember little key things like that, that's such an easy follow-up. Hey, hope you had a great week Monday. Let's just say come Monday. Hey, I hope you had a great weekend. I hope your daughter Eliana's birthday was a success. Look forward to staying in touch. Easy, planted that seed. The fact that you remembered that means a lot to them. But that's if you're genuine, you genuinely remember that. They'll remember you. Like, oh shoot, she remembered? Like, heck yeah.
You know what helps me remember my clients? I write down something. I have a folder for each one of them. If I have a meeting with them, I talk with them. I write after they leave. I'm like a doctor. I write down my notes from the meeting. They had a daughter like this who had a birthday coming up. They have a son who's had a baseball. Yeah. I know he plays baseball. Don't forget to ask about. It's just those little things, small things that I'm intentional about, because I talk to more people. I may forget. It's
Absolutely.
hard. So I'm going to write it down, because knowing that, look, I cared about you guys. I care about you. I wanted to keep growing. Yeah. Even if I only talk to you one time a year, it's okay. I still want to keep growing with you. I don't want you to leave me because you don't know me.
Yeah, exactly.
So I write that note, put it in the folder, wait till next year.
Yeah. I need to get better at that, because I'm like, boy, we're getting older and my memory isn't always just the best. Like,
we have life too.
Agreed.
And it's very tough to remember everybody. So little notes. Yeah. And that's actually a sales tactic. Just write down notes about everybody. Person you just met. So next time when you do follow up, ask them about this again. Yeah. How's that going? They talked about this last time. Oh, you mentioned fishing. How you been fishing recently? Things like that.
Exactly. And then you give them something. Again, it's just adding value to one another. Why?
It's a value exchange.
It is. It was something silly. One time I was having a conversation with a lender one day, and one of her dogs was sick. And I remember I'm always big on like, what do you feed them? Are they allergic to anything? Honestly, by you guys having Nyla and her being allergic to egg, I have shifted my whole. Like, you can't just give anyone anything, right? It's not it's innocent. You want to give a 2-year-old candy because that's just kind of what we're known to do. But it's like, yeah. But so you just have to ask. how their preferences on how they, give their children or dogs or any person that they love. And so anyways, it was with the conversation with the lender, and she mentioned something about treats or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know. Have you been to Wolf? I'm forgetting the name.
Meow Wolf?
No, then we need to go there though. It's a dog shop that they make really cute cookies and stuff. And so anyways, the next meeting, my follow-up meeting, I freaking went to the dog bakery, grabbed a couple options because she had 2 dogs. And then it was one of their birthdays. That's what it was. And they have birthday little cupcakes and stuff there. I get Mila her little cakes there. Nice. Very annually. Anyways, and so she remembered that and thought it was the most sweetest thing. But I meant the heck out of that because I'm a dog mom, right? So when you can relate on that level, it's just being thoughtful, and then they remember you. And that's just kind of how I've been with every single relationship moving forward now.
Yes, knowing that you care.
It doesn't exist as much though anymore, to be honest. Really, sales and business is a hard industry because we really all are in it for ourselves. We all have to get paid. I'm trying to make a living. Just trying to do it the right way. I don't know. It's hard sometimes.
So I've been meeting with clients a lot recently because, she's my mom and everything. And they will, I'm meeting with them and they're telling me because my mom built a lot of these relationships. And mind you, my mom only saw them once a year sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And they would tell me how she would call them throughout the year saying, hey, whatever happened to that? Like, hey, you were disabled. My mom would help them find a lawyer. She connected the dots with a lawyer she knew to help them get a lawyer to fight for workman's comp and things like that. And call, hey, what's going on with the case? You okay? Has everything been settled yet? I'll be praying for you, okay? Just checking up.
Yeah.
Just I don't need anything from you. I'm just going to call you and say, hey, how you doing?
That gesture.
Yes.
Yeah.
How are you? You okay? Everything. We talked about this last time.
Yeah.
That's when you have a value relationship and that network becomes family.
Your net worth, really, though. Yeah. It does. Because then now we were just talking about vendors. You're now surrounding yourself by these people because you choose them and they choose you. It's a very mutual understanding and expectations too. It's because you kind of set that standard.
Yep.
But it's hard out there. So you're networking. I guess you'd say it's going to be more organic because I do organic things, but I also go to networking events. With a business like you have, do you see yourself doing any type of networking events, or it really is all word of mouth for the most part?
For me?
Yeah, for you specifically.
Right now, everything's word of mouth.
Yeah.
This year, it's word of mouth, and I'm seeing how it plays out. And then I may do a little Google ads or classes on tax classes to know what expenses that you can write off and what you can't write off. Things like that, because people don't know. They think they can write off anything and everything, and you can't.
I agree. It's funny. Okay, I did go to a class from a realtor, and he had a CPA. His I think it was his specific CPA, and I was like, light bulb went off. I'm like, hey, I know a guy. You, whatever, you could do it. And I was, you're right. We learned a lot about how, because this was like 2 months ago, and I was like, you speak well, and that's like 20, whatever, depending on the class size. I was just thinking of that. So sorry. Now it's a side conversation.
That was very smart. Right before tax season too.
Yeah, but good to know because I didn't know. I've never been anything like that. But again, that goes when you put yourself in certain situations. You never know where you're going to come out.
Yeah,
gaining.
Literally, because every day I get a call saying, "Hey, you told me I should become an S corp. What is that? I have a DBA." I have explained them all these different things and why.
Yeah.
How taxes work through these different.
Education.
Yes.
Whenever you gain those relationships and your networking that you're doing, when you have those people that are following you with what you do or what I do, whatever you do, I feel like also offering a sense of education to them keeps them intrigued because they're going to have questions. And then now you're the guy that they really like trust and they know who to call.
Yeah.
You know?
I get people who get their taxes done like, oh, it's not enough. Hey, I got... I pay for some prescriptions and some medical stuff. So sorry, that won't help. I got to tell them why it won't help them. Things like that. What's the difference between a standard and an itemized deduction? Y'all don't know the difference. I got to help you guys out.
I don't know.
And things like that. So that's my field. That's what I'm supposed to know. Them, not you, me. I'm supposed to educate you. Like, you're right. And then, so that's what I have been thinking. Like, maybe I should just do that on the off season to stay.
I agree. Because I'm like, Well, I don't know. See, now again, side conversation. Realtors and stuff really it depends when you're a realtor and then it's their own business. And then, or you have investors in certain things. I'm sure they're figuring out the ropes, especially newer people in the real estate industry. They don't know what they can and cannot write off, or they're told by other people. It becomes a he said, she said game when they don't have that guy that they can just call up yet until they fail and they just lost a whole bunch of money because they had no idea.
Or they get the people that say, hey, your business, everything's a write-off.
Yep.
Not necessarily.
That doesn't work that way. And I have a random question. I just heard that since I've been doing races and stuff, or you know how you like sign up and it usually goes back to a charity? I guess depending, like on the Chevron. Because I chose a charity and stuff. Can you write that off? I don't know, I saw it on social media. Is that a weird thing? What?
I mean, for a race?
Yeah, like whenever you have it, you correct, you pay 100 something bucks.
Is it like the race that stood for something?
Yes, like there's the money you're giving is going to a charity.
If it's a 501c3 and they give you something for it, yeah, maybe.
I don't know, I just randomly heard that.
But it won't. I mean,
I don't sign up for
part of
stuff like that.
the itemized deduction, and it has to be. Sometimes it'll work, it won't work.
Okay.
It depends on when it will.
I'm acting like I do all these races. I literally just did the Chevron, so I was
then it probably won't help.
Yeah, exactly. It's $100. You know what I'm saying? Was curious because I'm like, I have friends that are starting to sign up for so many things now just for fun. And I'm like, oh, by the way, I didn't know. Again, that's the value. That's me thinking like, let me add value to a person's.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust a lot of tax advice from social media.
Yeah.
That's why I don't get on social media. Well, for that. That's why I haven't done that, promoted it, because they're going to get mad at me because I'm telling the truth.
No good, though. I mean, it's fair. There you go. Why you're trustworthy. Tell them the truth.
Yeah, I'm going to, the honest tax guy. I'm going to get you what you deserve, nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah.
I want you to have a prosperous life, not one where the IRS comes after you.
Yeah, let's not.
I got a family to feed, too.
I texted you one day, right? I think what was it? Was it a voicemail? Or no, it was a voicemail, and I was like, I sent you the voicemail.
Oh, yeah.
And it was something about, it freaked me out.
Yeah,
and
Iris
I was
don't
like,
call you.
do I need to be worried? And then you texted back right away. I was like, oh, oof, okay.
Yeah, Iris never calls you people. They would never call you. They will send you a letter. Okay.
Yeah, because it wasn't in the mail. Anyways, so I just had to ask you that. Ooh. Yeah. Your network reflects your brand. Why reputation matters. I believe in that hardcore. Why your reputation matters. Just because of who you are every single day. Truly does reflect you and how you work. I think. Because I guess when something didn't go your way at the gas station because that person is taking too damn long and you got a meeting to go to. You know, certain things that kind of really can set you off in an impatient matter. We all know someone somewhere, and sometimes I'm always like, I want to hold myself highly because I want to be respected and I want to be looked up to.
Yeah, check yourself.
Yeah. And so sometimes when you're in scenarios that way, that's my intention. That's my motive to keep me sane with silly situations just because, man, I could have known my boss could have been behind me and seen me acting like a fool.
That, or you don't know when you're going to see that person again.
Yeah.
You don't know. You may see him at a church, or they may have seen the podcast clip online, like with their friend, like, hey, I know that girl. Yeah. She cussed me out the other day at Chick-fil-A line.
Exactly. And that's why I've tried. I'm like, that's why we should be doing a podcast, because we just hold ourselves to a standard.
Be a good person.
Yeah. Really, just be kind.
Yeah, and it's not that hard. And literally, because we're all going through it, why would you want to make it even harder on yourself and for somebody else?
Yeah, I agree.
We get inconvenienced all the time. There ain't no reason to throw a fit about it right now, because it's going to happen again in 2 weeks. Get over it.
Funny you say that, because I think there was 2 weeks ago, I think I was running late to come here to do the podcast, and I got the damn train. And I'm like, ooh, you were testing me today. I've gone every red light. Now I'm getting the train. And I think I sent you a photo of the train. And you said, while you're waiting, pray.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And I was like, ooh, that's good. In general, it could be anything while you're waiting to pray. Ever since you said that, I took that home with me. And I'm like, oh, I sat on it. And I was like, Sienna, you're frustrated? Pray. You're waiting? You have nothing else to do? You know what I mean? Like, time is ticking. Why would I not? Why would I not? So I appreciate you saying that.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you kept that.
Yeah, it was something so small. And so now it's like, again, we just learn from each other. And so I would love to be able to give that to someone else one day. You know, it's like whenever you get frustrated, because we do.
Yep.
We're human.
Yep. I don't get road rage, but I did this past weekend. I don't get it. If I'm in traffic, like, all right, I'm here. I get to listen to more music.
Yeah.
I got to do this. I'm not from Russia, so why should I be Russian?
Ooh.
I always ask people, are you from Russia? Then why are you Russian?
Yeah.
And so there's no point to be in a rush.
Good point.
Yeah.
True. Okay. I'll
It's
take
just
that
tough.
one.
Yeah, it's dumb.
You'll need to remind yourself
it's
that.
corny.
Again. No, it's fine. No, it's not really. It's actually really good. I'm just saying. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
But it makes sense.
It does. It does make sense.
Yeah.
There's no point. It's gonna be there. What are you rushing for? What are you doing? Because when you're rushing, you're gonna mess up. You're gonna make a mistake. So you're gonna forget something at the house and have to go all the way back. And you're rushing. You're already late as it is.
Yeah. Just accept it.
And keep moving.
That's where the peace comes in. It's like, you know what? You're meant to be exactly there for a reason. Because you never know.
You meant to meet somebody. Grow your network.
Yeah. You might meet someone. That happened to me. Anyways.
That was actually good.
Okay, networking events versus organic networking. I guess I kind of covered that. That was when you're networking events. Also be particular with the networking events you choose. I learned that because I was wanting to go. I was wanting to be the guy that went to everything because obviously I have time. I don't have kids and everything, so I can. A lot of people cannot in the evenings. But I started to realize it's usually happy hours. And a lot of people were going for the free stuff. Networking events really do offer free things. You're going there to eat a nice freaking meal or something. You want to meet people and network, but I'm not going to lie, by the time you're there for a couple hours and you have a couple drinks in you, conversation becomes unintentional. Now, are they going to remember what I said? I just drove an hour to get to this event. That's, I think, what helped shifted my why I'm present. I would rather a one-on-one meeting any day than going to some networking events, just because they now gauged who I kind of was and what I have to offer in a quicker 30-minute coffee meeting than driving that hour to just thinking smarter, I guess you could say. And so I've just been particular when it came to networking events. And our time is precious, right? And so it's just do your trial and error work. See what works best for you, I feel.
Yeah, and be intentional.
Yeah.
It really is the main thing is every person that you meet, be intentional about it. Don't do it to use or to gain.
Yeah.
Do it because you generally want to meet somebody and you generally want to get to know them.
And it even goes more than that too, right? If we dig deeper and you start to realize your friendships and you start to realize the conversations you're having with your friends. We were talking about someone one of my friends doing all the talking, but it's like, oh, maybe I need them to also hear me too, So just kind of, analyzing your friend group and are they giving you what you would like to be received as well? I don't know. Because you can't just always be the one to give. You can't always be the one to give.
Yeah, don't be that person's resource.
Yeah. So you know how that goes.
Don't be the giving tree. I don't know if you read that book.
No.
Oh, it's a good book. It's a children's book, The Giving Tree.
Oh, okay. Good to know. There you go. Adding value.
It's a good book. Well, Sienna.
Yeah.
How do you think we do it?
Good. I want to finish with a little me and books. I'm acting like I read all the time. I don't, but there are books that I will take away from things. And I was actually given this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's funny. My cousin Daniel gave me this book
a
while ago. He read it and he was like, you need to read this book. I just got into title. And so I was like, okay, I love a good motivational book.
Shout out to Dale Carnegie.
Yes. And he's a really good author. I've heard great things. Even Aaron, my boss, was like, hey, I'm going to send you the audiobook.
This is like the book.
This is a freaking great book.
Yeah.
And so one thing I just wanted you to take away from this was we talked about networking. We talked about intention. We talked about being present. Also being empathetic towards, back to my HEB story, on you never know what someone's going through. So don't just be quick to judge. Be quick to listen. And so one thing I took away from this was, it was chapter 8. It's a formula that will work wonders for you. It says, funny. The first sentence that I took away was, remember that other people may be totally wrong, but they don't think so. Try to understand them. Only wise, tolerant, exceptional people even try to do that. Try to honestly put yourself in their place. If you say so to yourself, how would I feel? How would I react if I were in his shoes? You will save yourself time and irritation. And in addition, you will sharply increase your skill in human relationships. So just kind of remind yourself, check yourself sometimes. Put yourself in their shoes. Don't take things personal. Keep being consistent in gaining that network by what you enjoy doing. So, yeah. And then we have a challenge.
We do.
Let's challenge each other and obviously the audience.
Definitely the audience.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being challenged. All right. So our challenge to you people are to connect with 3 people this week. And not only that, right, Shannon?
Yep.
What else is it? We got to add value to their journey.
We do.
We talked about this.
Sorry. We don't practice before we start.
We don't.
We're organic.
We are
what
organic.
you get, what you see is what you get, I guess you could say.
Yeah, pretty much.
But okay, yes. Connect with 3 new people.
And add value to their journey. Their journey.
Yeah. Don't make
Not
it about
yours.
you.
Yes.
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. And we will see you on the next one.
Oh, yeah.